forbid you are sitting in this place saying, I don't care about legacy. You need to care about it because somebody's got to live in the life you have. You are passing something down whether you want to or not.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Mindset Mastery Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Sam Velasquez. Super thrilled you are here today. Hey, I wanted to bring a topic to the table that I think is both important and necessary given the time frame that we are in. Yes, we are in the coveted end of a year, getting ready to come into a new year, 2024 to 2025. Hey, I don't know about you, but I like to believe, it seems anyways, that most people are in one of three boats per se. One of those boats are gung-ho. It is, it's the 110%ers out there. I don't believe we can do anything at 110%. If you are 100% maxed out, that's everything you have. However, there's the mentality of 110%. And so some people are rip-roaring into the new year. And then there are those who are somewhere in the middle where they believe the idea of, hey, we should be going for something and having some vision, but, let's not get caught up in the hype. And then there's those who are like, you know what? No, listen, I'm just going to coast. What I'm doing is working for me. I don't want to change anything. I'm content. I'm where I want to be and everything's working good for me, kind of a mentality. And again, that's kind of broad and I don't mean to categorize people. However, I want to paint that picture for what I want to break down for us today, because I believe it is important to know the season we're in. And remember this is a biblical truth, and you may not be a person of faith or a person who reads the Bible, but I am. And the truth is, according to the Word of God, that for every time there is a season, or for every season there's a time, meaning that some things happen for others around us that aren't happening for us, and we can be wondering why. And then we're in a season where things are happening for us, and they're not happening for those that they were once happening for. There is a season for everything, and God has perfectly mapped things out for each and every one of our lives and the intended time and purpose for which it is to come to pass or transpire. However, the caveat to that is we still need to exercise faith, take action, and nor do things generally just happen. Okay, I like this example. I was thinking about this earlier, and we'll come back to kind of the whole overarching kind of message here, but I was thinking about birds. And I found it kind of fascinating to start thinking about a robin who builds a nest comparatively to a hawk or an eagle, maybe. We live in the Pacific Northwest, and there's a main drag that runs east-west called Highway 84. And my in-laws live 2 hours east of where we live. And so we always drive through what is known as the Gorge, beautiful scenic drive. And it fascinates me because there's so many nests that are either hawks, ospreys, and or eagle nests, and they're huge comparatively to that of a robin. And obviously it's because of the bird's size, right? The birds are significantly much larger than that of a robin, so it makes sense. Robins have smaller nests, the eagles have bigger nests, or the hawks. But what I was thinking about was the intrinsic nature that the particular bird has to know to make the nest according to its size. And I'm laying this foundation for the idea that God has made us to create. God has made us for more than maybe we are giving ourselves credit for. And here's my challenge, right? We are coming into a new year. We're coming into a new season. And I don't want to even pretend as to where you are at. However, I want you to think a couple of different ways. I want you to think particularly backwards and then forward. The backwards is to look back at all that has happened maybe in the past year, and don't write it off. Take note of what was maybe good, what was not so good, what was bad, and what was maybe really bad, prospectively speaking, right? For you as an individual. And then I want you to think about the future. What is it that you want to be very good? And the truth is we can never avoid bad or not good things because it's just part of being here in this world. It is part of life. But I want you to think about, how did I respond? How am I going to react going forward? And what is it that I truly want? And then you got to determine, what boat are you in? What boat am I in? Am I in the, you know what? Things are pretty good. They really weren't that bad. And so I'm just going to try to stay where I'm at. I don't want to get out of the boat. I don't necessarily want to try to go faster in my boat. I just don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to create ripples or waves, let alone tip this boat over. We're just going to coast in the boat we're in. Or maybe you're somewhere in the middle where you're like, you know what? Things were good. There was some bad, but it wasn't terrible. But I certainly would like to maybe get a little further than where we're at. Okay, but I don't necessarily want to go so crazy that I'm maybe getting beyond what I'm able to imagine or believe. So you know what? Yeah, I'm going to move forward, but I'm just going to do it very gradually. I don't want to have any, thing go too wrong. Or maybe you're in the boat that says, you know what? I'm so discontent in a healthy way, right? We can be content and want more. So maybe you're content, but you know there's more. You're willing to get out of the boat and swim if you have to. You will make ripples and waves at whatever degree necessary to get from where you are to where you want to be. Now listen, I'm not judging which one you're seeing yourself in. However, I want to talk about believing for the third boat. Okay, listen, I get it. We live in a culture and society that's very overwhelming at times. We live in a culture and society where we're going to be bombarded with all of these ideologies, and even what I'm giving to you right now fits this category to the degree that it does. And that is, hey, new year, new me. What's your New Year's resolution? All right, it's time to conquer. No. Okay, I understand that's there, but I'm gonna challenge you to quiet that noise and really focus inwardly on what it is you want. And this is why this is a pivotal and critical, episode, because I believe so many of us are being bombarded by tons of noise. But if we can learn to quiet that noise, look inward, and really ask ourselves the question, what is it that we truly want to be different moving from 2024 to 2025? And what I want you to imagine is what that looks like for you, but do so without necessarily letting what has happened to you up until this point have all of the bearing on your decision, because then we're predicating it on what we know more than what we don't know. And the challenge for believing for something greater, or the challenge for believing for a preferred future and believing the things that we are thinking and are imagining in our mind, can be challenging because we cannot fully see them. And what I'm saying is, focus on what you can see in your mind's eye and decide how bad, not only how bad do you want it, but do you believe that it is there because God wants you to see it? He wants you to have the little bit that maybe you have in your mind's eye, because there's so much more for us in our lives. And that's why I'm saying, I think God has created us, metaphorically speaking, to be more like that of an eagle, but we're building our nests to the size of a robin. Listen, I am guilty of this, you guys. I'm not saying you, I'm saying I've been through this. I've been going through quite a transformational season in my own mindset of just, maybe it's poverty thinking, scarcity mindset. It could be so many different things. And it's not a matter of, hey, good or bad. It's recognizing all of these things that lead into our decision-making processes, or why we believe a certain way. And so what I'm saying is, as you go from 2024 to 2025, really ask yourself, is God made me to be an eagle and I am flying like a robin, or I'm building a nest the size of a robin? And have you ever thought that it's not about the size of your nest necessarily that matters for yourself? The size of your nest matters because it allows you to have a greater reach and impact on those around you. And so I think that as we move from 2024 to 2025, my challenge to you is, without overthinking this, but laying a little bit of a foundation so you have something to ponder and to think about and internalize, really take time, because we brush over it so fast because we know what's coming. We know all of the ads, all of the sales, all of the marketing, all of the things that we're very familiar with are coming, but they're external. What I'm saying is, turn those down and turn on the internal volume inside of you and start asking yourself, what do I truly want? Or maybe you don't know, excuse me. And the question you need to ask yourself is, God, what is it that you have for me that I've yet to take hold of and go after wholeheartedly? And move towards that thing with intention and be unrelenting as you move into 2025. Not for the having more sake, but again, because it is attached to the ability that only you have to impact more people. And just like the eagle and or the robin, God has created us as the human race to create and to build at a capacity that no other species can. It is incredible to think that no other animal, no other species other than us, the human race that God has created, can create to the level that we can. Look around you at what we have accomplished. Not to say, look at us, just to say, wow, God has given us the ability to do so many things. And the question is, from 2024 to 2025, what is it that God has given you the ability to do that maybe we are not fully doing or going after? And I challenge you is to maybe, if you're in the third boat, maybe you just need to get out and start swimming or paddle. Not harder, not faster, just take intentional action, because you no longer want to be an eagle who's building a robin's nest. You want to be an eagle that is building not just any particular eagle's nest, but the nest that God has designed you to build. Metaphorically speaking, you guys, go after all that God has for you. And if you are uncertain as to what that is, I'm going to leave you with 3 encouragements. Number 1, ask God. Even if you're not a praying person or a person of faith, ask God what it is he has for you. Number 2, seek wise counsel. Find someone that you trust and that you know that you can say, hey, I want to bring this up to you. I want you to give me your honest feedback. And trust me, if they are a trustworthy person that you trust, they're going to encourage you. And number 3, and lastly, hey, if you need, okay, and this is critical, but number 3 is get a coach. Make the investment in yourself to have someone who's going to pull the best out of you and hold you accountable in the process. Hey, you guys, as always, I appreciate you. I look forward to what it is God's going to do as you move from one season to the next, and we go from this year to a new year in 2025. As always, Coach Velasquez here. Sign up for that free email, the weekly encouragement I put out, so you can start your week off fresh with some good things to think on and ponder. And if you would like to connect, sign up for a free coaching call. I would love to help you get from where you're at to where you want to be. And we will see you on the other side. Peace.
God forbid you are sitting in this place saying, I don't care about legacy. You need to care about it, because somebody's got to live in the life you have. You are passing something down whether you want to or not.